PPP Executive Handel Duncan is making a case that it is wrong and unlawful for Gecom to conduct investigations into allegations of fraud committed during the elections.
Going along this path, we intend to write the chairperson tomorrow a letter chronicling and registering our concerns.
Duncan's comments were sparked after the coalition requested Gecom to examine evidence presented by them that allegedly prove rigging by the PPP. These include dead persons voting and persons who have migrated actually casting their ballots at the March 2 polls. Duncan is, however, contending that such an investigation is outside of Gecom's purview. However, it was the same Duncan who, during his campaign for a recount, based on accusations of fraud, he had leveled that returning officer of Region 4 Clement Mingo had promulgated the notion of Gecom's capability to investigate allegations of fraud, noting that the recount process can only be about numeric but also about credibility. Aubrey Norton of the APNUFC says the final results have to take into consideration reality, and that reality is there are allegations of fraud in the electoral process.
We expect that at some time we'll be expected to produce the evidence. I think she was saying now, if you look at the process, you have the observations. The observations are being placed in the observation report. The time will come, I believe, when we have to now look at these observations, provide what evidence exists, and then finally allow Gecom to determine what the position is.
While both of the major political parties intend to accept the outcome of the elections, Norton said the final results will have to await the credibility test.
We know, for instance, we had opposed them not giving us the 61 seats in Sophia that weren't stamped. Now, if we do a tabulation and there are 350 persons whose ballots weren't stamped, and at the end of it you put it out while that is on the observation form, I wouldn't call that final results. I would call that the results of the physical recount of ballots.
Former Education Minister Dr. Henry Jeffrey just days ago in his weekly column added his voice, saying Gecom cannot logically present a legitimate winner without first taking into consideration illegalities arising from the recount process, and if credible evidence is produced that the process had been undermined at any stage, this cannot be dismissed. Handel Duncan, HGP Nightly News.